right, sir, you are ready to go.
Okay, thank you. I'll call this meeting of the Covington Planning Commission to order, please. Jennifer, could we have a roll call, please?
Yes, Chairman Robertson,
Here?
Mr. Lamb, Mr. Morgan,
Here.
Mr. Scruggs,
Here.
Mr. Shawver,
Here.
Mr. Wicklund,
Here.
Mr. Wilson.
Here.
Okay, thank you. Before we start the meeting, I have a statement I need to put on the record. We're holding this meeting electronically so as to conduct necessary city business. We're eligible to hold this meeting because I, as chairman of the Planning Commission, find that the governor has declared a statewide emergency under section 44-146-17 of the Code of Virginia. And the catastrophic nature of the emergency makes it impractical or unsafe to assemble a quorum in a single location, and a meeting is necessary or statutorily required in order to carry out the commission's responsibilities. I would now hear a motion to find that the nature of this emergency makes it impractical or unsafe for us to assemble a quorum at a single location, and that the purpose of this meeting is to carry out the necessary responsibilities of the commission. Did I hear a motion, please?
I'll motion.
Have a second?
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Against, nay. The ayes have it. Tommy, do you need to read something similar for your group?
Yes, sir.
Can we just go off of what he read?
You would need to also call your meeting to order, I believe, as well, just like we did
I
with the.
do. And is Thomas still on there anywhere?
Yes, sir.
Thomas, could you call Mr. Lamb and help him? He is an observer right now. He cannot get to where he can speak.
Thomas, his number should be on that list I gave you earlier.
All right, due to the COVID-19 coronavirus health emergency and pursuant to Chapter 1283 of the 2020 Act of Assembly, the Covington City Council will convene electronically to transact the business statutorily required or necessary to continue operations of the city. The public is encouraged to participate in the public meeting by sending any comments they may have to Rebecca Scott, Clerk of the City Council. Her email is listed, or you can email Jennifer Kales, and her email is listed. The meeting is open to the public for viewing on the Zoom platform. Need a motion to accept that I read that or something like that.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Scott, Ms. Scott, could you show that all the council is present tonight?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Second agenda item I have, well, let me back up just a second. Let me welcome my new members. We've got several new folks joining the Planning Commission. I appreciate your time and your dedication to this. It's a very interesting group, and it's a process we go through that some people don't even know exists. Also, with that, one of you is filling the place of Carolyn O'Connor. She will be missed. She brought a great perspective to our group, and since our last meeting, she's no longer with us. So again, I appreciate the folks that stepped up.
Chairman Robertson, can I interrupt just a second? Is Mr. Lamb here? Is he under Debbie?
He texted me, Jennifer, and said that he is listed as an observer and he can't do anything but watch. I'd asked Thomas to see if he could help him get to a better place.
Yeah, I just put the only observer we had over into the panelists.
As who?
Debbie's Galaxy.
Yeah.
Hello, Wayne.
That's me.
Hello, Wayne.
Thomas, do you want me to try to call him?
Yeah, try to call him.
Okay.
Debbie's Galaxy is probably Debbie Cartwright. Angela?
I believe so, Tom.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Thomas, it's a possibility he deleted the right email. Could you possibly send him a new invite?
No, I just sent it to him.
Thomas is going to try to send you a new invite to join.
Yep, tell him to check. It should be there.
Okay, give him just a minute. He's going to go try.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Hey, Wayne, welcome.
Hey,
Well, I don't have any picture, but I don't know why, but I guess that's okay.
Yeah.
that's all right. Glad you're here.
So make sure you record that he's here, Jennifer, please.
I am. I'm adjusting that right now. Thank you.
Okay, the second agenda item is a joint public hearing with City Council to consider the special use permit for Angela Gingrich to allow for the selling of pet supplies and the grooming of dogs. Property is described as 1207 West Jackson Street, Rayon Terrace, Lot 2, Block A, tax map number 32-1-A-1. Angela, would you like to explain to us what your thoughts are?
Yes, I actually have a little something written down if you guys don't mind me speaking.
Okay.
Just wanted to say good afternoon, everybody, and I just want to introduce myself. I'm Angela Gingrich, owner of Angie's Dog Grooming, LLC. I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity today to speak regarding my special use permit for Angie's Dog Grooming. I just want to ask City Council today to consider my special use permit, which will allow me to obtain my business license. This would enable me to move forward and open my business at 1207 West Jackson Street. My general plan is to groom dogs and sell pet supplies. I'm a people person and an avid animal lover. I have confidence that Angie's Dog Grooming will be nothing but an asset to the city of Covington, and I'm excited to see what the future holds.
Okay, thank you. The way this works is I'm going to open a public hearing. If anybody has dialed in or anybody would like to make comments, they can certainly do that for or against. They can do that one time. Since this is a joint public hearing, Tommy, you'll need to open that for council, please.
It'd helped if I'd unmuted myself. Call our meeting to order.
Okay. Do we have anybody from the public sector that would like to speak for or against this request? Nobody, huh? Okay, well, in that case, we'll move on to our questions and comments.
Mr. Robertson, not to interrupt, Ms. Scott, I guess to clarify, we should probably ask for the record, did the secretary for Planning Commission or the clerk for council receive any emails or letters prior to?
I have not received anything for Planning Commission.
Becky?
I'm sorry, no, I didn't.
Okay, thank you, Crystal. Okay, now that that's on the record, Angela, what we typically do is we have a discussion. Our group asks questions. Tommy's group, you know, they can listen, they can ask questions. So we get some of the details around the business. So just bear with us. We're not doing anything but gathering information. Eric.
Yes,
you made the comment that you thought it fit best as a conditional. So it was not called out in the code?
Correct, sir. The code does not call out pet grooming specifically. The nearest use listed in our schedule of district uses is a veterinary clinic, which clearly calls for a C3 use. Honestly, I think that is because the kenneling that's often associated with these types of uses, and Angie's Pet Grooming, her business model does not include that.
Correct.
So I think that's a very good point to focus on with this particular special use permit. And just for a point of clarification, later in the meeting, we'll be having a discussion related to possibly amending the code, because this is the second time that we've addressed the topic related to pet groomers since I've been the zoning administrator. And I think we need to move to try to rectify this situation with our code.
Mr. Robertson, if I may, this is Crystal Anitis, city manager talking. I realize you're joining by audio. I would just like to reiterate and support what Mr. Tyree said as our building and zoning administrator, or building official and zoning administrator rather, that the city attorney and I have spoken at length on this matter. I have spoken with council at length on this matter. And we do feel legally, especially the city attorney, that having a straightforward grooming business would not go outside the bounds of what currently exists in the C2 language. It's just one of those things that we probably need to engage in some general housekeeping.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Robertson, this is Mark Popovich, city attorney. I wanted to just chime in and let you know that that is correct. I had a discussion with Ms. Onitis about it, and it seems appropriate to fit it into this particular category.
Okay. I just wanted to get that out there so my group could hear how we got where we are. Okay, Angela, what are your hours? What are your hours going to be going forward?
I plan on being open Tuesday through Friday, 8:30 to 5, and on Saturdays, 9 to 1.
Okay. How about parking? Do you feel like there is ample parking there?
Yes, yes, I feel like there's plenty of parking there.
Because this is a departure from David's business. His was and David, correct me if I'm wrong, his was more commercially oriented. This is going to be service or retail oriented to me. Are you going to have a lot of going and coming? And I just want to make sure we have ample parking there.
Yes, yes, sir. I do believe, on my part, I believe we have plenty of parking.
What changes do you foresee making to the outside of the building?
If anything, would allow maybe a fresh coat of paint outside on the front, but nothing anything major. I don't have any plans on changing anything with the building or, that's Mr. Oliver's there.
Okay. Did I miss it? Are you going to board any animals?
No, sir. No, I just grooming and the sale of the pet retail.
Okay. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, right? And you said just dogs. People will come and they'll bring their dog and drop them off or stay there. You'll groom them and then they'll take them, and that'll be that.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. What I'm thinking about is, are we going to generate a bunch of noise? Will it be open air? Will it be closed up? I've never been beyond the office in there. I don't know what it's like.
Mr. Robertson, if I may, there is a mechanic auto shop right next door to or adjacent near this building. There is a hair salon also within this building. There is another hair salon across the street, a tanning bed across the street, and several other businesses that have comings and goings.
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure that we protect those other tenants from noise. That's where I'm curious.
I don't think that the noise ordinance would be a factor unless it was that there was operating hours after quiet hours that we have established by city ordinance.
Okay.
Hey,
Is
Tad,
there a
this
park-
is David. Just
Yeah.
a quick point. Cadle Street, which is all residential, which is on the north side of the building. Angie's actually going to be to the opposite side of that building. So she's on the far side where most of the commercial buildings are located. So, and as far as the parking goes, the back lot, since we don't have trucks going in and out of the back anymore, I mean, that's a pretty good sized lot, which we own just about all of it back there, with the exception of one lot beside the old Grogan's Pub.
Okay.
What about the apartment above?
The apartment above is currently vacant. My tenants moved out as of December 31st, but I am trying to actively get somebody else in there.
Okay. Anybody else in my group got questions? What's on your mind? Anything?
Can I jump in for a second, Tad?
Yes.
Jerry Morgan, Planning Commission. Do you anticipate signage on this building, additional signage?
Yes, I just planned on putting like a vinyl decal on the front window. Other than that, nothing extra.
Do you anticipate adding any extra light, possibly to illuminate your sign or anything like that?
Did you say any lighting?
Lighting, additional lighting?
No, not that I know of.
Okay.
Nothing that should be a distraction from the street or anything like that.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Any other questions from our group?
Mr. Robertson, if I can, I'd like to add a little additional information.
Sure.
So, just so everybody knows what the zoning is around there, in your package, you would find a map of the current zoning levels around there, as well as a copy of the future land use map from our comprehensive plan. The comp plan clearly shows that corner's to remain as a neighborhood business zoning, which is our C2 district, which is currently zoned. I really think that the issue here is more that our code does not specify enough to separate the service oriented type business of pet grooming versus the kenneling type businesses where veterinary clinics are. And so I just want to really focus on that. On the end of the building, which Angie's Pet Grooming is planning on occupying, adjacent zonings are actually higher use, except for across the street. It's zoned residential, and on Cadle Street, just as Mr. Oliver was saying, it's residential. But the most proximate uses are zoned higher. They're zoned C3, so which is a more intense use level. I just wanted to provide that additional clarification for everyone's knowledge. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Again, anybody got any questions, concerns? Okay, Tommy, how about your group?
Council, you have any questions, concerns? Doesn't look like it.
I don't.
Okay, well, in that case, then I will close our public hearing.
And I'll close our public hearing.
All right, so now, Mike, you folks, now we talk about what we learned, what we heard, what we think, and go from there. And I like open discussion. I like a lot of discussion, if it's warranted. I think Eric's comment that we're just filling a hole or a gap is well taken. It sounds like to me it fits where it's trying to go. So and with what I've heard today, I don't see any problems with it.
I got a question of something that we did several years ago, Tad. You may remember, there's a dog groomer on Riverside Street beside the Burke House. That property was originally residential maybe, and we had to special use or change the zoning. What did we do there?
Special use.
It's special, that's a special use permit there?
Yeah, it's way
No, sir.
It's not?
No, sir. We upzoned that property to a C3 property.
C3. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to clarify that because I do see a need for the city council to do some work on that section of zoning. I told somebody the other day, probably the reason it's not listed is back in the 50s, there wasn't anything like a pet groomer.
Oh, you did your own.
Yep. Probably a lot of truth to that, Mr. Mayor.
He makes a good point.
Okay, any discussion, folks? Okay, having said that, I guess we come to a time where we can offer a motion to recommend to city council, and for you new folks, that's what we do. We recommend to the council. We look at the facts, we gather the information, we recommend that they adopt the question, or they vote against it. And in this case, I need a motion to see how the group feels.
I'll recommend we adopt the motion.
Okay, do you have the application wording in front of you, Steve?
Yeah, I've got to get to it.
If you would put that in the form of a motion to get it on record, then we can move on.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we accept the application for a special use permit to sell pet supplies and groom dogs, 1207 West Jackson Street, Covington, Virginia, by Angela Gingrich.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Who was that?
Wayne.
Okay, good. Okay. I thought it was David Oliver, it sounded like. Okay, Jennifer, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Okay, sorry. Mr. Lamb,
4.
Mr. Morgan,
4.
Mr. Scruggs,
4.
Mr. Shawver,
4.
Mr. Wickline,
4.
Mr. Wilson,
4.
Chairman Robertson.
4.
Thank you.
Okay, thank y'all. So Tommy, we recommend to you to accept this rezoning or special use permit request and move on forward with it.
All right. Thank you, Ted. Council, I would entertain a motion on this item.
Happily move for approval.
Second.
Ms. Scott, could we do a roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Mr. Carson,
4.
Mr. Hunter,
You're muted, Raymond.
4.
Mr. Tucker,
4.
Vice Mayor Crozier,
4.
Mayor Seibold.
4. I don't think we have any more business. I'd entertain a motion for council to adjourn.
Move for council adjournment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Should it reflect, before we all adjourn, that the special use permit was approved during the joint meeting?
Yes.
So
Awesome.
that Angie's Grooming now knows that they have an approved special use permit.
Yay.
Thank
Thank
My
you
dog
guys.
has a haircut.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank y'all so much.
All righty.
Thank y'all.
Everybody be safe.
This is the way business should be done.
Planning Commission, stay on here.
Tommy, we're gonna send you over for a haircut.
Hey, I would like to thank the planning commission and city council for y'all's prompt addressing this. I really appreciate it. This is David.
Well, David, no problem. I think anytime we can occupy a space that wouldn't have been occupied, I think we need to act on it. Because if they don't go there, they may not go anywhere, or they may try to go somewhere else that's not in the city, and let's take advantage of it.
Yeah, that's right. Appreciate it again.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Angie, I'll be signing your zoning approval first thing tomorrow morning and getting it to the
Wonderful.
Commissioner of Revenue's office so that you can get your business license issued as soon as possible. Okay?
Thank you so much. I appreciate everyone. And I appreciate you
That's no
guys
problem.
listening.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Am I good to hop off?
You
Yep,
are.
you're good.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you, everyone.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Sure.
Okay, commissioners, that's kind of the way things work. The people come to Eric with a use permit or a land use that typically isn't called out anywhere, or they're trying to put it somewhere that it's not called out, if that makes sense. And then he'll bring it to us to act on it, and we gather the information, discuss it, and then we make recommendation to council. That's the easiest way I know to say it. Gets us first. And the reason that we act as a joint public hearing, for years we didn't do that. And what would happen was people would throw it in front of planning commission as a procedural note. And we would go through it, and if they got what they wanted, fine. If they didn't, they'd go to city council, and sometimes city council didn't get the same story. So we short-circuited that little deal by acting communally, and it seems to be working out very, very well. The next agenda item is approval of planning commission minutes for our meeting held back in February, which was the last time we were able to get together. I've looked at them. They look fine to me. So for who was here, I guess Steve, no, you weren't there. Jerry, I don't know, was Pat, were you there at that meeting?
Can't remember.
All right.
Okay, so Chairman Robertson was there, Mr. Parker, Mr. Haynes, Mr. Lamb, Mr. Morgan, and Ms. O'Connor.
So Jerry, I guess it's you and me and Wayne. These look to reflect what we did.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes as presented.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Okay, hold
Against?
on just a second. Who said second?
I did, Max.
Thank you. This is a little hard to keep up with. Okay, gotcha.
Okay, thank you. Central Business District is under unfinished business. I will let Eric kind of give us a snapshot of where we are and how we got there, if you would.
Yeah, and I just wanted to bring our new planning commissioners up to speed on this. Our comprehensive plan that was adopted about a year ago now by council called out the need for doing a overlay district downtown to help eliminate some obnoxious uses and add in protections for others. And so we've been working to actually develop a new zoning designation, not just an overlay. And we've been through it extensively as a planning commission prior to all the new members coming in, and we were getting down to the wire, but we've been on hold since February. So I wanted to provide all that information to you, the draft document to you, and ask you to take a comprehensive look at it between now and next month. And that way we can go over anything that you may see that you don't like and move forward, hopefully in the next couple of months with recommending this to council. It's been a long, hard road to get it to the shape that it's in. We beat it around up one side and down the other, trying to poke holes in it. But let's give it one last round, especially with the new eyes we have, to see if we truly think this is what we want to do. The other thing I'd like for you to really think about and pay attention to is we had targeted this for just the designated historic district downtown. And so I just want to make sure we revisit that discussion once again to be sure that we don't want to extend or shrink those boundaries to make it fit best where it'll have the most effect for our downtown in protection and encouraging the type of growth that we do want down there. So if you would just please go over it with a fine-tooth comb between now and next month, please.
I took a minute, Eric, and looked over it the other night, read it. And one thing I noticed, maybe this is not the time, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. Is the office designation broad enough?
Okay, and what do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, it says the following uses and structures are permitted by right, subject to all other applicable requirements contained in this ordinance. And when you get down to office, it says financial institutions, general office, medical office. Is the general office meant to make it broad? Because, you think of legal office and dental office and those kind of things.
Yeah, I think general office is just basically a broad term for any type of business conduct office.
All right, I just want to make sure that I'm clear on that. So folks, take a look at that before we get back together. Like you said, we have been over and over and over this. Is this what help me remember, is this what we were looking at other localities?
Yes, we started with a town of Blacksburg ordinance as a template is what this was. And we've made a lot of changes and tweaks to make it be more Covingtonized is what I like to call it. But, just read it with the point of view that, Blacksburg is a small, successful community, not unlike us. It's kind of the direction we want to have. We want to have those types of downtown uses, which are conducive to people having a lot of foot traffic. We don't want to exclude service type industries or anything, but we have a very service-based downtown, but there's still room for more retail and business and commercial establishments there. and growth in those sectors, as well as downtown living. Our code already allows for that. I think that this one did a pretty good job for allowing for that even in the future. But, read through it, look at it from a different point of view. I'm excited to hear all of our new members' take on it. If you have any questions, please just reach out to us. I'll be happy to discuss it with you. As Chairman Robinson says, this is a process where we all bat things around off of each other. Everybody's point of view is very important to it. That's the reason why we have a 7-member panel. It's because we get different perspectives and points of view. And hopefully at the end of the day, we can hash something out that works well with each other. And we all work together and respect each other's opinions. But, we get where we need to be at the end of the day to make us all move forward together as a community.
All right, can we back up to that general office thing for just a second? Will my new tattoo parlor fit under that?
So yeah, it wouldn't under a general office, but if you go back up to, let's see if in the commercial use is where it says here.
We've got a specialty shop.
Yep, specialty shop, pawn shops, clinics.
I'll do a pawn shop in the front, tattoos in the back. That'll work.
Yeah.
But you can't do a pet
Yeah.
groomer because it's not called out.
Well, honestly, I believe that it probably would fall underneath this designation, that it would be allowed.
So somebody can move in. So somebody can move in there with a tattoo parlor. Okay.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
I believe so, because that is a kind of a downtown use usually. A lot of places, it is that kind of thing. I would call it a personal service shop, not unlike a hairdresser. I believe it falls under that definition.
Okay. I don't see pet grooming.
No, I don't see pet grooming downtown. Nope, and
Just
that may
in
be
case.
one that we need to talk about. That's a good point. Well taken.
Okay, well, look over that. The intent here is not to run businesses away. It's to make sure businesses can coexist. Okay. The next agenda item, election of officers. If you looked at the agenda or the minutes from the February meeting of 2020, that's what we did at that meeting. So us that were elected haven't had time to fail or succeed.
You want nominations now? Or you want to wait till next month?
It says election of officers.
According to the bylaws, we should be trying to do it in January. Last year, I've forgotten, but there was something that worked out. We didn't get it done in January.
I would like to nominate Tad Robertson for chairman and Steve Wilson for vice chairman.
I'll second.
All right, who said second?
I did, Jennifer.
I'm sorry. I'm writing and then I look up and I have no idea who said it.
Well, you better.
I'm new at this game, fellas.
That's okay.
I know it's a railroad town. I've been told that before.
So you heard that train coming, right, Steve?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Any other nominations?
I won't do it to you, Mike.
Thank you.
Okay, well, having said that, does this need to go in the form of a motion?
No, you just close the nominations and then do a vote for or against, or I vote to confirm those elected.
All right, well, the nominations are hereby closed. If there aren't any other, can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Lamb,
For.
Mr. Morgan,
4,
Mr. Scruggs,
4.
Mr. Shawver,
Four.
Mr. Wickline,
4.
Mr. Wilson,
4.
Chairman Robertson.
4.
sorry, Steve.
Thank y'all. So there was only 2 people that we were able to do it that easy way.
I see in last year's annual report, we also elected Jennifer as secretary.
Yes, sir.
So can I,
Planning Commission has the option to appoint a secretary from within their membership if they'd like. But City Council has seen fit that they allow the use of my administrative assistant for the secretary also. So you can make that decision if you wish to. So
Well,
either amongst yourselves or with Ms. Cales.
what we have done in the past, I certainly think has worked. Whether it was Jane Tucker, whether it was Jennifer, it works. So I would propose we leave it as it is.
If that's a motion, I'll second it.
All right. It is, it was. Okay, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Against, nay? Thank you, Jennifer. Welcome back.
Thanks.
We also have before us a copy of the annual report from 2020. As you can see, nothing happened since February. You'll also note, you new folks, that we didn't meet in January because there was not a need. We meet by need. We don't meet just to meet. Eric has been very, I'll say proactive or very involved with us in keeping these zoning matters before us and moving forward, like the central business district, things like that, so that we try to stay ahead of the game. So once in a while we'll meet to discuss that stuff. But typically, if there are no applications before us and no other business, we won't meet. So that's what you see there. Having said that, I think the annual report for 2020 should be adopted as it is.
I move for approval of the 2020 annual report.
Second,
Second.
all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, nay. Ayes have it. Next on the agenda, proposed ordinance revisions. You want to talk to us about this, Eric? And I did not print these things out. There was 79 pages, and I started before
Thank
I
you.
realized what I had done. So I said, I'm not printing this thing, and I stopped.
So these ordinance changes were spurred at the request of the city manager. So I'm assuming that it came from council at the very beginning. I was asked as a department head to review the sections of city code with which I deal, which are many and numerous, far beyond just these 2 that they've asked Planning Commission to review. I think I took probably at least 3 months to go through all the ones. I did strike several parts of code in this that I think we need to discuss. And so we can either continue with discussion today, or we could take a month to review what I'm proposing to be struck or added to code in these particular sections and review them next month and discuss them. But council, instead of just blindly accepting what I recommended, and I apologize because I wasn't given ample time to bring it to you all to discuss what I wanted to do. I was given a deadline where I had to do it by a certain time frame. So they requested that it come back to you for discussion on what I proposed cutting and adding to the ordinances. So one of them is the appendix for the zoning ordinance. And in that one, that's where I want to take care of the pet grooming issue too, is in the list of scheduled uses in the back. That one is an easy fix, really. Some of these others in the subdivision ordinance, they're going to be a point of discussion for us. There's things for and against certain parts I've struck. I kind of lean more toward what is nationally accepted as a development method and not so much what we have in some instances. So I don't know how you all feel, but we could either take a month to review and then discuss them in depth next month, or we could kind of go through them today.
From a personal standpoint, I'm not ready today. Now that I've got a little background, I can go back and I can sort through these additions and deletions and comment on them. And then I would propose we do that in a month. What does everybody else think?
Works for me.
Come on.
4, okay.
Did everybody get their copies?
No.
I did not.
My packet wasn't thick enough either. Why don't you send it out if you would as an email?
Well, I got it as an
That should
email.
be in your packet.
I got it as an email, but I never got anything printed.
Really?
This is Robert.
That's what I was waiting on to start delving into this thing instead of printing it. I do much better with a printed copy in my hand that I can make notes on.
Yeah.
And it never showed up. I was hoping it would come today even,
Nope.
and it didn't show up.
Nope.
Hey,
I've got it.
that's
Jennifer,
crazy.
I've got mine.
You did.
Jennifer.
I handed you yours.
Yes.
We'll get it next year.
Well, we did mail them, so if you don't receive them, sometime later this week, let us know, and I will personally deliver it to your home if I have to.
Okay,
Mike-
good.
Okay.
Mike got his, right?
Right. Yeah, Margie brought it.
Mr. Wilson, did you get yours?
Yeah, I picked up what you left at dispatch.
Okay, Jerry and Mr. Robertson didn't. Mr. Scruggs?
No.
Mr. Lamb?
No.
That is so weird.
It's probably
Yeah.
my real estate disclosure.
Yeah.
It's probably put through.
That's what I got was the real estate disclosure. I did not get anything from city council, from planning commission.
Okay, well, I don't know where they are.
Post office.
Well, I dropped
Yeah.
them in the box, the blue box. So they might still be in the blue box waiting on the post office to pick them up.
Could be.
That was over a week ago.
Makes sense.
Yeah, if
So
you don't
we
get
will,
it this week, let us know.
If you don't have it by the end of the week, let Eric or Jennifer know, and they will put it in a police car and drive it up to your house.
Oh, man.
That'll give the neighbors something to talk about.
And that, well, just hang on, buddy. It happens.
If y'all would like, I can go ahead and print them for the 4 that needs them and leave them in dispatch, and y'all can just grab them at your convenience.
Well, let's see if the end of the week we've got them.
Okay.
I just saved you the time and the trouble and the paper and all that I was too lazy to do.
It's a lot of printing. I wouldn't want to do it on my own printer either.
It is, and like I said, that thing kept spitting out pages, and I thought, what have I done? And I stopped the job. But we'll take a look at that for next time. And we do meet the same time every month, by the way, the third Monday at 4:30, unless it's some kind of governmental holiday or something like that, and then we push it a day.
Your next month, if we are meeting, is on a Tuesday as well. We have a holiday.
Do you folks ever work?
All the time, I think.
Get a day off.
Now that we're allowed to be virtual, I think we put more hours in than we did.
What is the date of that?
Like the
So
20.
it'll be we're gonna meet again February 16th.
Okay. Okay, the next item is correspondence. Do we have any to consider?
No,
other
we do
than
not.
Other than our filings that I hope everybody's got them hit the right way.
Right. I do need to tell y'all that we still have on hold the public hearing for Sean Douglas. We were supposed to do that last March. I did offer for him to come through. He wants to rezone the Salvation Army, which needs to be addressed because it's residential. But he is on hold because he's not going to do the Zoom meeting. he doesn't want to do that yet. So we're just holding his application until we can come back to real life.
Okay. All right.
He declined to do it virtually. He'd rather wait until we could meet in person again.
One thing I would say to you new folks is I sent some information to Max. Max, I don't know if you found that to be helpful or opened it up or anything. I don't know, but
Yeah,
I would certainly be willing to sit down with the new folks or sit down with everybody and go through that information, and we can have kind of a discussion. What it does, it tells you how the city government works around planning and what our responsibilities and requirements are, and you'll pick up on it pretty quick, obviously, but I'd be glad to do that once we can all convene, or we could do it as part of one of these meetings if you want. Okay, anything else?
Jennifer,
Yes.
the map that was in that packet, was map 1-1 that shows the city with all the different districts lined out.
Yes.
Do you have a color version that you could email me?
Absolutely. So what I can do is just take my original packet back there and scan it in, and y'all can have everything at your fingertips again.
I have it. It's just that where it's shaded in, it's all grays, and it's hard to
Okay.
know what it's broke down to. I was wondering if you had a color version.
Isn't that
Yes,
part of the,
yes.
isn't that part of the comprehensive plan?
Yes, and he
Yeah,
should.
but yeah, and it's available online also, Mike. The whole comprehensive plan is available digitally, linked off the city website.
All right.
But we can print you a copy if you want a hard copy.
You
We
need
can
to,
get it
everybody needs to have a copy of the comprehensive plan. You will hear that over and over and over again. It's a great tool for fitting land uses. It's also a great tool for not fitting land uses. So familiarize yourself with it. It's not too painful to read or to get it familiar with. But Mike, that is in there, the current as well as the future.
I have it, but it's just in shades of gray, and you can't match up the
Yeah.
colors
Okay.
or what it is.
All right. Well, Jennifer, help him out there.
We'll fix you up.
Thank
We'll
you.
fix it because that means everybody needs it. Also wanted to tell you that I didn't know whether y'all knew Mr. Parker moved.
Yeah,
Okay, just
Yeah,
wanted
he
to make
did
sure
it.
everybody knew.
we're gonna miss him. He did a great job.
Yeah.
Okay,
Um,
anything else?
So the new members, we probably do need to get them a copy of that, Eric.
Yes, we'll be developing a packet to get to y'all because of the size of the packet we sent out this month. We didn't put in everything that we normally would give you. Usually we have like a new member packet that has all the bylaws and things like that associated with our organization, so that you have those for reference materials moving
Hey,
forward.
Eric, our new
We'll put
members
those
have
together.
those.
Did you get them to them?
Yeah, Mr.
Wonderful.
Wilson and Mr.
Wonderful.
Shalver and Mike all have those. And I have
That's
new
awesome.
ones for
I'll
the rest
sure
of
you
you
got
as well.
Okay, so with that, then if there's anything that you really need, and like I said, if anybody needs anything, reference material, information, state code, local ordinance printed, comp plan, if you need that hard copied at all, just let us know. We will make it happen for you because it is very important. The comp plan is our overarching guiding document for the city for the next 20 plus years. We'll review it every 5 years, but it really is kind of our reference document for everything that we do with Planning Commission. And the new one is really set up with goals and objectives. And so my goal has always been I wanted that to be a work document when it was drafted. So you'll see that there are objectives listed in there for the county and the city because we wrote it jointly, and we're probably the first 2 localities in the state to have done that. And so if we can pluck the low-hanging fruit out of there and work our way through it and continually chip away at this, it should move us forward in the direction that the comp plan has laid out. I wish more people understood the importance of the comprehensive plan and the process that we do here. It is very important to the community's growth and long-term health of the community, physically and otherwise, the economic growth, everything's touched in there. Right down to transportation, which VDOT makes us go a little over the top on transportation planning, I hate to say, but that's why you'll see that that's a large part of that document, but that's a VDOT requirement. But the rest of it really is concise, the work documents, the important part in the back. And, once we get done with the downtown overlay, we'll start talking about what low hanging fruit to work on next. That's in the back of that comp plan. So yeah, you can become familiar with it. It'll become your go-to reference as we move forward.
Hey, Eric, for the new folks,
Yes,
do you think that we need to assign some homework, Dillon rules?
Yeah, so for those of you not familiar with the Dillon rule, what the difference between a Dillon rule state and a home rule state is, I would encourage you to read up on that. In a nutshell, it says that we can't do anything that state code doesn't specifically call out that we have the authority to do as a local government. Home rule states are a lot more lenient than that. They can kind of go out on a limb a little bit, but Virginia is a Dillon rule state, so we can only do the things that state code specifically allows us to address. So that's it in a nutshell. If you want to read up on it a little bit more, then, I'd encourage you to do that. But yeah, you'll start hearing little legal terminology things that you'll pick up along the way. Like Chairman Robertson said, this is a lot more interesting than most people give it credit for. And it's a lot more meaningful than a lot of people think it is too. So I'm looking forward to working with all you new members and continuing the good work that we've been doing with everybody who's been with us for a little while. And I'm excited to see where we can go and get through 2021, where we can actually have a meeting in person and I can shake hands with people again, because I'm a people person. I'm not a computer guy. I like to do business face to face, but I'm looking forward to it.
So Chairman Robertson and Eric, if Mr. Morgan gets out of hand, I've got a rolled up newspaper and he knows what that's for.
Oh, goodness. Hey, I sent a digital copy of the comprehensive plan to everyone. And we can get you paper versions as well, but just so you can go ahead and have them in your email and at your fingertips if you'd like to review any of it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, with that, again, thanks for coming. If you have any questions, feel free to call myself or Eric. But we'll get through this thing. You'll learn a lot, and I appreciate your service. So with that, we're adjourned.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Have a good
Thank
evening.
you.
Everybody have a good evening.
Thank you, Thomas. Appreciate you.
Eric, thanks for all you